Now, we're talking about life balance and functional balance. We're talking about, basically, up to this point, people have been telling me that life balance is work-life balance. It means that we have this dichotomy between work, right, here in red, and life, right? Imagine if you actually believed that you are only working so that you can get to the weekend. This idea, work and life is an essentially balanced thing. The more that you are able to balance work and leisure and self-care, right? Leisure and self-care, that is the true nature of work-life balance. Actually, just work balance. Work and life. Your life is partly work and leisure and self-care. Remember, that's what we were really talking about with the craft model. The more that we can balance those things out, the better. We talked a little bit about all work and no play. We've talked about the trust fund kids dilemma. We've talked about this imbalance. And now we're really talking a little bit more about how are we pulling these things together in our lives on a day-to-day basis. How long does it take me to balance my activities? Can I balance my activities in a very short time? Give me 1 second here. We're going to, we've talked a little bit about, we've talked a bit about the amazing wealth that there is in the world, and that how we are tying that all together here with, say, the abundance that there is. The abundance, for instance, I meant to mention is that, imagine, people are more likely to die of abundance-related injuries. Things like obesity, heart conditions, and things that come from having too much rather than having too little. You know, overconsumption of alcohol, overconsumption of food, overindulgence in any kind of thing. So those aspects of abundance can be really damaging to us if we get down to it. If we now think about this balance, again, between work, leisure, and self-care as the essential moments of balance, and that when we're out of balance, we're obviously having some difficulty with it. The main thing I want you to get across with this is that it's very possible for you to stay motivated, more motivated when you're doing this. So we talked about that imbalance, but now let's talk about really what it means for the layers down here, for those legs of the table that we've created here. So again, what are our pillars? We've got physical, so you're going to see my back here, mental, social, right, and motivational. Now the thing is, any of these pillars on their own is not enough to hold up a good functional triad, right, of work, leisure, and self-care. It is not able to, you cannot do this on motivation alone. You need some physical abilities to be able to do it. You need some mental abilities to be able to process what you're doing, and you need some social abilities. So this is the way, so I'm talking about life balance as not just work-life balance, right? You know, work / life versus life. What is a balanced life? I think you're probably getting the idea that I believe it is a balance of these activities. And as you start to consider this and internalize this, you're going to recognize that you can start to do this. Now, what's coming up here now is about that, I alluded to it just a moment ago, is what is it going to take in order to actually balance this? What kind of timeline do I have to have? Okay? We're going to think about it really about taking any activity and extending that activity, because Well, let's get to that right this next module. Pop right into there, because I think we have an interesting idea about how we can dynamically operate so that we have the best and most abundant, balanced life.